Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD, and today we'll be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1073 of One Piece. This was a dope chapter, especially following the drop that we got last chapter. I'm going to keep this review very, very short and simple though, because it's been a long day and I want to be able to make sure I can edit this and have this up by this morning. So we're just going to go right into it. Anyway, if this is your first time on this channel or you've been here before but haven't done so already, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like, share, and subscribe. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into the review.
頑張れそう頑張れ諦めないで口笛吹きさ歩き出そうよ Going now
So, chapter starts off with the perfect reaction from Rob Lucci of pure shock, betrayal, and confusion. Lucci is the type of person that, is used to, being in charge, kind of having a handle on things, doesn't like to, not be in the know. And so you can tell this is completely mind shattering to him. And you can tell, like, this isn't a ploy. This isn't like I don't know. There's just no way he's in on this. And he is completely and utterly shocked. He immediately tries to attack Stussy, not knowing what's going on, but knowing he needs to regain control of the situation. And she uses a paper arts, after image, what's it called, Rokushiki attack. Which at first I was confused. I was like, is that a devil fruit or whatever? I believe because they use paper arts instead of kamei or whatever they say. But then I was like, oh wait, no, it's just Rokushiki. So we still don't know like if it's a devil fruit ability she has or if it's some kind of biological like lineage factor thing going on with her, right? And so immediately just completely outclasses him and then pulls out some lipstick, and apparently it seems like the lipstick is infused with sea stone, which is super super cool, something ingenious, something we haven't thought about. I've always wanted to know about the applications of sea stone and see more sea stone constructs such as bullets. We understand that sea stone bullets would be expensive and stuff, but like everyone wants to see sea stone bullets. But yeah, so I've really wanted to see stuff like this throughout the series. So this was really kind of cool. And I also love the fact that Stussy, or Oda in this case, sets out to say, just a heads up, I know that like I know match for you, that I couldn't take you like on a one-on-one fight. That's why I'm stooping to this. That's why I'm doing this, and I totally acknowledge that this would be different if I approached you head on. So for those fans that are like, what the fuck, or like super mad, or like they feel bad because like their man, like everyone loves Lucci. He didn't take an L. He got snuck. He was surprised. His ally betrayed him. That kind of situation. Okay. And so anyway, I was completely wrong. I'm gracious enough to admit it. And purely and simply, he was the ally to Vegapunk. I was completely wrong. I'm honestly super confused because you see in the panel where she's talking to Vegapunk, she's using a Denden Mushi transponder snail. So I'm just really confused. Like, at what point was she able to have that conversation with Vegapunk and talk? Because I said in my last review, if it was her, possibly she has some means or way of telepathically or cybernetically like communicating with Vegapunk, but no, it does not seem to be the case. So I'm still super super confused how they're able to communicate, but I guess that mystery is solved, and we later on find out the mystery of who she was cloned from actually is, and it turns out to be Miss Backing. So that was awesome. So anyway, after that, the clone of Stussy lets us know that unfortunately she can't stop the Seraphim. Their level of authorization is the same as hers. Therefore, she can't overwrite the orders of someone with the same authority as her, which I think is something very interesting, and I'm glad Oda brought up now because we're gonna find out later if, for example, one of the Vegapunk's satellites, for example, betrays one of us, i.e., say Lilith, like everyone hopes and anticipates happens, she can give orders to the Seraphim that the other Vegapunks cannot supersede. So that should be very, very interesting. And if I am correct, I do believe that the Vegapunk and the satellites have the same level of authority, and the only one that supersedes them are the Gorosei, right? So after that, we have Zoro and Brook running into the lavosphere, trying to figure out what's happening, trying to locate their crew, and they see the Seraphim. Once again, they're completely new to what's going on, but they do recognize that, hey, those guys look very similar, especially the Jinbei one. So they immediately get into action, start fighting. Holes are being blasted all in the lavosphere. We get this amazing shot of what's her name? Lilith's ass. For some whatever reason, Oda was feeling it this day, and so they're able to reach the Seraphim in time and cancel their orders. There is a moment where it looks like Kumabot or whatever, Spare, is about to blast. Why do I always forget the flare one? I have no clue. I should have checked before the review. That's unprofessional. But uh, the flare satellite. But it turns out that Sanji was able to save him in time. Not gonna lie, was kind of super disappointed that we only got so much of the interaction between Zoro and S-Hawk. Really would have loved to see that carry on a little bit longer, but whatever, that's what's up. Also, we get some dialogue from Zoro that lets us know that there is some humanity in these Seraphim. So next, after that, we go to Sphinx Island, where we have Marco talking to a child there. Apparently, he arrived in Sphinx Island after a big ordeal had taken place. So after Whitebeard's death, much to like how Marco predicted, many people arrived, including, well, we'll get there. A lot of people arrived on Sphinx Islands trying to take Whitebeard's, inheritance, whatever Whitebeard left behind. They know that this is his hometown, and I think it was known during his during his piracy that he would send money, funds, food, and stuff back to his hometown. So they figured, hey, there's probably lots of gold, lots of treasure here. And on top of that, they're also not paying the heavily tribute to the celestial dragons, right? So once again, we've seen it before. We saw it in like Nami's village and whatnot. That there are really dirty Marines out there, and not only are they bullying them because they're not getting the tribute that they think they want, they're trying to harass them and get Whitebeard's, fortune or inheritance that he left behind. Fortunately for them, Edward Weevil was there, the unconfirmed son of Whitebeard, and so he sent all those Marines running away, but unfortunately, because of that, because this dude before the dismantlement of the system was a Shichibukai, he ranks really high in the level of authority, and also all these Seraphim and agents were sent out to collect and apprehend all these Shichibukai and stuff like that. So the one who responds to the call is Ryukyu himself, right? So Ryukyu gets there and completely demolishes, according to Miss Buckingham Stussy, what's it called, Weevil, and take him to prison. So now I'm wondering what's going to happen next, because she ends the chapter by saying there's someone that can confirm that it is actually Whitebeard's son, and it's Dr. Vegapunk. So are they going to come to Egghead and help us out? I don't see that happening. They're too far. I don't see how they're going to get here in time. Or is Marco going to be like, all right, screw it, let me go and save this dude? Because even if he isn't best case scenario, he is Whitebeard's son, and you're doing the lineage of Whitebeard a solid. Worst case, he did stand up and protect Whitebeard's home, and the way people in One Piece kind of respect bonds and like helping their friends out, I can definitely see Marco being like, all right, you know what, the least I can do is spring him out. This is gonna be like the last thing I do as a pirate, right? So very, very interested to see what happens there, and I'm very, very interested to see if we learn more about Miss Buckingham Stussy, what led her to be in Mads and whatnot. Also, speaking of Mads, I just realized in this moment I didn't talk about the cover story at all, so I'll just do that for a quick second here. The fact that he won the One Piece version, I think it's called an Ibel Peace Prize, the One Piece version of a Nobel Peace Prize for a gun that shoots flowers, is friggin' stupid to me. I'm sorry. I know some of you might think it's cute or cool. It is stupid. Unless those flowers can like repollinate or vegetate like barren like wastelands, I think just a gunpowder that turns into flowers is stupid. Also, is it just me, or was anyone instantly reminded of Hiraluk and how he was trying to get sakura blossoms to bloom on the Winter Island, and the best he could do were like whatever, like those explosions he made that look like sakura, the fireworks, whatever he made that look like sakura blossoms. That's kind of exactly what that reminded me of. So is that Oda's way of reminding us of inherited will and stuff like that? So I'm very curious. Also, in that little picture, you see the rest of the Mads just kind of like, what? So they were definitely shocked. Maybe they really didn't think this was about peace, because we literally had the cover story right before of them creating all these weapons, viruses, and like terrible things, and then you have Vegapunk with these flower guns. Also, speaking of themes and hidden messages and the like that I was talking about and Oda is trying to show us, I can't help but to think that, with uh, the clone of Stussy, and, that long excerpt that Oda gave us in the very beginning about, from Vegapunk actually, about, Stussy being undeniably human. We have all the ideas of humanity in the series. We have the Seraphim. We have, the various clones. We had Edward Weevil, who seems some form, which, by the sheer fact that none of the Whitebeard pirates, have ever heard of this son, and Whitebeard never claimed him, we can kind of tell that this is definitely some kind of cloner experiment. Now, whether it's a flawed full DNA of Whitebeard clone or some kind of gene splicing clone with Whitebeard and Stu A is yet to be, revealed. But, from the fact that her little like card said that she was a self-proclaimed scientist, so you kind of get the idea that she doesn't know what she's talking about. Once again, relating me to Hero Luck again. He was a self-proclaimed doctor, and on top of that, that she was a freeloader. I wouldn't be surprised if while they're in the process of cloning or maybe utilizing her DNA for clones, she, decided to, like, I don't want to say sabotage an experiment, but decided to, mix Whitebeard's, part of his like his beard hair or something, or some way she got his genes and her genes in there, ended up creating that clone. But long story short, we've been shown repeatedly with that scene with Zoro and S Hawk, and the scene with S Snake and stuff like that, and just a lot of these things in general, that there is some kind of form of humanity in these robots, and I'm wondering how that's going to play a factor later, because it kind of seems like the studio here made the choice. She's not under any commands or demands or anything from Vegapunk to help. She made the choice to help her on her own free accord. Edward Weevil's follow his mom's, orders, but not like because they're orders, but because he believes her to be his mom. So they have a sense of humanity. But once again, S Snake to help Jinbei find, the rocket launcher or what have you, right? So I'm wondering if maybe this is going to factor in later on in the series when, the automata get introduced. Anyway, the most shocking, the most oh my god moment of the entire chapter is the very end, where we see a marine ship and we see a world government ship. And then we find and then we have Kizaru being like, we made you milk and cookies and whatnot. And then we see Saint J. Carlos Garcia Saturn. I think that's his name. I probably messed up somewhere. But I was like, oh my god. Things have gotten so real that the Gorosei are mobilizing themselves. Do you know how much they have to be shaken? How much is going on in the world where they're getting off their ass and pulling a Thanos, I'll do it myself kind of thing? Now, I'm really, really wondering if the Gorosei have, physical combat ability. Gonna be real with you, they don't look like fighters. They don't look like, they can really put up much of a fight. But I love anime. I love this trope. And we have seen time and time again throughout countless animes, old dudes can get it like that, all right? These dudes throw down. And also, the Gandhi looking one, I think, is the one that had the what's it called? The Owazomono grade sword. So it would seem kind of a waste for him to have. But once again, they're celestials, they're uppity, so maybe he just has as a status symbol. But I would be super surprised if he didn't know swordsmanship. So I'm very curious what we're going to learn from the Gorosei, what conversation he's going to have with Kizaru, what information, what expositions are going to be given to us. And also, something really important is we know that the Gorosei are the pinnacle of the command chain of the Seraphim. Now, when we first found that out, I didn't think it was going to be a big issue right now. And I thought that was something down the line for later because we don't have all the Seraphim right here. So I thought maybe all the Seraphim down over in like Mary Draw or whatever, once they come back from, their Shichibukai hunt, you know, we would have the Seraphim here and they would have those Seraphim there. And then when we get to the final war arc, the Gorosei at that moment would use their authorities to try to switch the robots over, and maybe by some, luck or surprise, maybe one Gorosei member is with us. But once again, what Lilith said or whatever, no, not what Lilith said, what Stussy said is once they've been given an order, if someone of the same or the same equivalent authority level tries to give them a opposing, conflicting order, doesn't seem like it'll take. So I was wondering, I thought that was going to be endgame stuff. So we'll see how it happens here, but I'm very, very curious as to what's going to happen, why he's here, why his last name is Saturn. Does it have any connection to the ancient weapons? Does it have any connection to maybe everyone from One Piece being from a different planet? Maybe the leaders, their flag, or a union of planets. There is so much going on in One Piece. We're getting so much information, and it is a great time to be a One Piece fan. Anyway, like I said, I am really, really sorry for this short sporadic review. My reviews typically are not like this, but I really, really take this seriously and just wanted to make sure that I got this video out regardless. So here it is. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave me any comments. I like talking to you guys. I want to get back to you. Let me know what you thought about this chapter. Let me know what you think about Edward Weevil, Miss Buckingham Stussy, her relevance in the story. How far of the relevance do you think that Jory Bonnie's going to have? I watched the video the other day, and Mr. Morge, for some reason, seems to think that she is a possible Straw Hat candidate. Between me and you, I think he's bluffing. I think he's found out that the secret sauce for like the algorithm is hot takes. And so now, because of his whole like the raid on Wano will fail thing, I think he's gotten the kick for just putting out outlandish takes that'll get him viewership. Because honestly, all the reasons he listed for Jory Bonnie to join, I would expect of, I could say the same for like Law or Vegapunk, or like I think there's like one other person I think like could have joined for similar reasons. So oh well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the chapter. Let me know why you think what's it called, a Gorosei is here, and let me know what you think is gonna happen with Hachinosu and Garp and Law and Blackbeard and just this insane series we're in. Anyway, take care. Have a great weekend. This has been Otaku Talk. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great weekend.